They told you that self-pity is weakness. They lied. It is not weakness, it is luxury. The most intoxicating one humanity has ever known. A drug dressed as comfort, sweeter than wine, more seductive than love. You wrap yourself in it like silk, because it whispers that you are special in your suffering, that the world owes you, that someone out there should see your pain and crown you for it. But here's the cold truth. Self-pity costs more than gold, more than blood. It costs you everything. Every second you feed it, you are being robbed, your power drained, your will diluted, your edge rusted. Do you know who gains when you indulge? Not you, the predator watching, the rival circling, the manipulator smiling. They see your tears as a weapon they can use, and while you collapse into your softest feelings, they sharpen their claws. Remember this: kings, conquerors, rulers, killers, they don't pity themselves. They exploit those who do. If you want to be untouchable, if you want to carve your name into the world with iron, you must cut this luxury from your veins. Comment below, no throne for pity. Number 1. The addiction of self-pity. You don't stumble into self-pity, you court it. You taste it once, and it tastes like honey dripping into an open wound, sweet relief from the sting of reality. Then you go back for more, and more, until one day you're no longer drinking from it, you're drowning in it. This is the nature of self-pity. It is not just a feeling, it is an addiction. You crave the comfort of telling yourself the world is cruel, unfair, merciless. You find satisfaction in believing you are the victim because victims are innocent, and innocence excuses weakness. But here's what Machiavelli would whisper in your ear. Weakness is never excused, only exploited. Every time you sink into that pool of sorrow, someone stronger than you is watching. They are calculating. They see a man distracted by his wounds, and they know he will not see the knife they slide into his back. Self-pity is not harmless. It is a signal flare screaming to predators, "Easy prey here." And still you defend it. You convince yourself it's healing. But nothing heals in self-pity. It festers, it rots, it keeps you chained to the illusion of safety while your enemies sharpen their ambition. Think of it as a luxury drug, one only the powerless can afford, because the powerful never pause to indulge in it. Do you think emperors pitied themselves when betrayed? Do you think predators pity their hunger when starving? They use pain as fire, as fuel, as sharpened teeth. Only you, softened, waiting, begging for sympathy, mistake your sorrow for strength. You don't realize that pity is not a cure, it's a parasite. It feeds off your will, drains your ambition, numbs your instincts, and like any addiction, it convinces you it is necessary. But here is the brutal fact: you do not need it. You are stronger without it. The moment you starve it, your veins clear, your mind sharpens, your body hardens. The chains fall away. You either master this addiction or it masters you. And if you let it, it will bury you alive while you whisper that you are unlucky. Remember, predators don't pity, they conquer. Comment below, I choose fire over pity. Number 2, the luxury illusion. Self-pity is not cheap. It is the most expensive luxury you will ever buy, and the price is your life. You wear it like a velvet robe, convincing yourself it keeps you warm, when in truth it drains your heat until you are left brittle and hollow. Luxury always comes with cost, and the cost of self-pity is measured not in coins, but in power surrendered. When you indulge, you sell your ambition for scraps of sympathy, and sympathy is the weakest currency in the marketplace of power. Machiavelli knew this. Men respect fear, they respect strength, they respect control, but they never respect tears. Tears invite exploitation because they reveal that you are willing to pay for comfort with your own dignity. And like any luxury, self-pity seduces you with status. It tells you that your pain is noble, that your suffering makes you superior, that being broken entitles you to attention. But luxury goods never make you rich. They only mark you as prey to those who know how to sell illusions. Understand this. Every moment you sink into self-pity, You are paying interest on a debt you cannot afford. You are mortgaging your future power for temporary relief, trading the kingdom of your potential for the counterfeit crown of victimhood. This is the cruelest trick of all. It feels like self-pity gives, but in truth, it only takes. And it takes without mercy. You think you are resting in luxury, but you are being looted while you sleep. The stronger men, the colder rulers, they know this. They invest their pain differently. They build fortresses with it, weapons from it, dominions carved out of their suffering. You purchase the illusion of importance with your grief. But illusions fade, and when they do, you wake up broke, bitter, and powerless. Do not be fooled. Self-pity is not therapy, it is taxation. It is the heaviest tax humanity pays, and it robs you until nothing remains but regret. Reject the luxury, reject the illusion. Build iron instead of silk, steel instead of velvet. Because in the end, only the man who denies himself pity becomes untouchable. Comment below, steel over silk. Number 3. The cost of weakness. Every moment you indulge self-pity, you pay a tax to the strong. It is not written on paper, but it is carved into your destiny. The cost of weakness is invisible until you're already bankrupt. You think you are buying comfort, but what you are really doing is wiring your enemy's power. You feed them with your delay, your hesitation, your retreat. Because when you sink into weakness, someone stronger is advancing. While you cry, they calculate. While you stall, they strike. This is the cruel balance of power. Your weakness is always someone else's strength. And here lies the Machiavellian truth. Life is not fair because life is war. And in war, hesitation is death. Do you think generals sit on the battlefield and curse their fate? Number. They march forward, even bleeding, because every second lost to weakness is ground surrendered to the enemy. You don't even need enemies to feel the cost. Your own mind becomes the tyrant. Self-pity makes your inner kingdom rebel. Your ambition, once sharp, becomes lazy. Your courage becomes fragile. Your will bends like wet paper. This is why weakness multiplies faster than strength, because it requires nothing but surrender. The strong pay no tribute. They bleed, but they don't bow. You bend under the illusion of comfort, but bending breaks you in ways no enemy could. The cost is not just opportunity, it is respect. The world respects only what is unshaken. And once you let yourself drown in pity, no one fears you. No one follows you. No one stands with you. They may sympathize, but sympathy is a counterfeit coin. Respect is earned in fire, and pity extinguishes fire. You must understand, weakness is a debt collector, and it comes for everything. Your time, your relationships, your legacy. You cannot afford it. No man can. If you want to live untouchable, you must bankrupt pity before it bankrupts you. Comment below, no debt to weakness. Number 4, the predator's eyes. Predators don't look for the strongest man in the room. They look for the weakest. They scan with cold, patient eyes, hunting for signs you can't hide. And self-pity is the brightest signal of all. It leaks from your posture, your tone, your hesitation. It makes you glow like a bleeding wound in shark-infested waters. You think nobody notices your suffering, but predators always notice. It's instinct. A lion doesn't waste energy chasing the bull. It isolates the calf limping behind. And in this world, weakness is louder than any scream. When you indulge in pity, you paint yourself in the colors of prey. The Machiavellian sees this clearly. The moment you allow self-pity to show, you invite exploitation. The manipulator smiles kindly while measuring how far they can push you. The rival pretends to comfort you while calculating your surrender. The ambitious man doesn't console you. He steps over you because the battlefield never waits for the wounded. Understand this. Predators don't respect your pain. They consume it. They feed on it. They sharpen their power against the grindstone of your collapse. When you pity yourself, you train the world to handle you as fragile. And fragility is always disposable. In the eyes of power, a man who wallows in his own despair is not tragic, he is irrelevant. Do you think history remembers the man who cried on the battlefield? Number. History remembers the man who slaughtered through his pain, who turned his wounds into weapons, who made suffering silent fuel. To show pity is to bleed publicly, and predators only grow hungrier when they smell blood. If you want to be untouchable, you must learn the predator's lesson. Conceal weakness, weaponize pain, turn silence into armor. Become the one who watches, not the one being watched. Otherwise, you will always be prey in someone else's hunt. Comment below, no blood for predators. Number 5, the Machiavellian exchange. Power is never earned by pity. Power is earned by control, deception, strategy, and force. Sympathy is not a weapon. It is a leash. And when you clutch self-pity, you hand that leash to anyone willing to pull it. This is the Machiavellian exchange. You trade strength for comfort, and comfort for captivity. You may think your pain buys you compassion, but what it truly buys is dependence. The man who pities himself becomes the man who begs, and the man who begs cannot command. Rulers do not cry to their people for sympathy. They demand obedience through fear or admiration. Pity grants you neither. It removes you from the table of power entirely. And here is the dark psychology no one tells you. Sympathy is not respect. People offer it because it costs them nothing and robs you of everything. When they sympathize, they are not lifting you. They are keeping you beneath them. It makes them feel superior, dominant, generous, while you cling to their crumbs like a dog at their feet. In this economy of power, pity is counterfeit currency. The strong trade in influence, intimidation, alliances. The weak trade in tears, and no man who trades in tears ever rules. To be Machiavellian is to understand the exchange. Everything is transactional. Every weakness is a bargain. Every indulgence is a payment. Self-pity is the most costly exchange of all because it guarantees no return. You give away energy, time, focus, reputation, and receive nothing but the hollow echo of poor you. The smart predator doesn't need to destroy you. He only needs to let you drown in your own pity while he takes everything you abandoned. And when you realize what you've traded, it's too late. The kingdom is gone, the crown taken, the legacy erased. Remember this, life doesn't care about your reasons. The world rewards only results, and pity buys no results. You can either barter with fire, steel, and strategy, or you can barter with tears. Choose wisely, because one builds empires and the other digs graves. Comment below, I trade tears for power. Number 6, the masculine armor. There is only one antidote to self-pity, and it is not hope, not prayer, not comfort. It is armor. Cold, unshakable masculine armor forged from stoicism. You put it on by refusing to bleed in public, by refusing to let weakness leak from your voice, by locking your emotions behind a fortress where no enemy can reach them. Self-pity is a luxury for men who want to be soft, but if you want to be untouchable, you must become iron. Stoicism is not detachment, it is domination. It is mastery over your own mind, the throne over your own reactions. When you wear this armor, insults glance off you, betrayal does not break you, and pain becomes silent discipline. A man armored in stoicism terrifies manipulators because he cannot be guilted, cannot be provoked, cannot be shamed into compliance. He is unmovable. Machiavelli would tell you, the prince who shows too much heart invites rebellion, but the prince who cloaks himself in control commands obedience. That is your task. Build armor so absolute that no pity can penetrate it, not from yourself and not from others. This does not mean suppressing rage or grief. It means converting them into steel. Pain becomes muscle. Betrayal becomes wisdom. Loss becomes calculation. Every scar is hammered into your armor, making you colder, harder, sharper. This is how you stop being prey and start being predator. Because predators respect only one thing, strength, and strength without armor is a myth. Ask yourself, what do people see when they look at you? Do they see a man begging for compassion, or a man whose silence carries power heavier than any scream? You must decide, because every day you walk outside without armor, you invite the knives of the world into your skin. Stop expecting mercy. Stop waiting for fairness. Forge your armor from discipline, control, and silence. Then wear it with pride. When the world throws pity in your face, let it shatter like glass against steel. Comment below, I wear iron, not pity. Number 7. The kingdom of the mind. The greatest empire you will ever rule is the one inside your skull, and self-pity is the disease that corrupts it from within. Your mind is your throne, your fortress, your battlefield. But the moment you allow pity to fester, you dethrone yourself. You hand the crown to weakness. You let despair sit where discipline should sit. And once your inner kingdom falls, the outer world follows. Machiavelli knew this. A ruler who cannot command his own domain will never command men. If you cannot master your own thoughts, you will be mastered by them. Self-pity corrupts the mind with whispers. You are owed. You are helpless. You are broken. Those whispers are traitors, and every time you entertain them, they tighten the noose around your potential. Soon, your thoughts no longer serve you. They serve your fear. Your ambition becomes paralyzed. Your creativity dries up. Your will turns against you. And a man whose own kingdom has rebelled is finished before the enemy even arrives. But here is the cold truth. You can take it back. You can slaughter pity like a usurper and reclaim your throne. How? Through ruthless self-command. You must police your own mind like a tyrant, crushing weakness the moment it appears, silencing the whispers before they multiply. Do not negotiate with self-pity. Do not reason with it. Rule it by force. Replace its lies with commands, orders that harden you, fuel you, sharpen you. When your mind becomes a disciplined kingdom, every external battle becomes winnable, because no betrayal outside can topple the ruler within. That is how you rise above the herd. That is how you become untouchable, not by begging the world to be kind, but by seizing the throne in your head and ruling it with iron. Comment below, I am king of my mind. Number 8, the mirror test. The most dangerous battlefield is not out there. It is in the mirror. Because the mirror never lies, yet you do everything in your power to hide from it. You polish excuses, you decorate wounds, you disguise your fragility, all so you can avoid the cold stare of your own reflection. But self-pity thrives in that avoidance. It loves when you avert your eyes. It feeds when you look at yourself and see not a warrior, but a victim. And every morning, you choose pity over truth. You fail the mirror test. A Machiavellian mind understands that the mirror is not just glass. It is judgment. It is the tribunal of the self. And if you cannot face yourself without excuses, you will never command the respect of others. To win the mirror test is brutal because it demands execution of weakness. You must stand before your reflection and strip it bare. No lies, no stories, no pity. Just the raw figure of who you are, not who you pretend to be. And here comes the darkness. Most men cannot do it. They crumble before the mirror, inventing justifications, weaving tragedies, convincing themselves that they are special because of their suffering. That is not special. It is pathetic. Machiavelli would tell you that pity is poison to authority, and the man who pities himself loses his right to rule. You cannot afford to pity the face staring back at you. You must become its tyrant. Rule your reflection as you would rule an unruly province, with cruelty, with severity, with command. Demand discipline from it. Demand hardness from it. Demand that it bleed power, not tears. Because here is the truth. The mirror is not your enemy. It is your test. If you pass it, you gain unshakable clarity. If you fail, you become prey to every manipulator who sees through the mask you couldn't face yourself. And the test never ends. Every day, the mirror waits, asking silently, are you king or coward? Are you predator or prey? Are you ruler of your fate or slave to your feelings? This is why the mirror test is the ultimate battlefield, because it exposes you in ways no enemy can. It forces you to kill pity with your own hands. It forces you to reject sympathy, even from yourself. And only when you pass it can you stand before the world untouchable, because the man who conquers the mirror cannot be conquered by anything outside it. So tomorrow morning, when you face the reflection, do not look away, do not soften, do not excuse, command yourself, conquer yourself. And when you do, you will discover that the mirror was never glass at all. It was a throne waiting to be seized. Comment below, I conquer my reflection. Number 9. The world owes you nothing. The greatest illusion that self-pity sells you is that the world owes you. That because you've suffered, because you've struggled, because you've been betrayed, the universe is somehow required to compensate you. This is the most seductive lie, and also the most devastating. Machiavelli would laugh at such a thought. The world does not owe you justice, fairness, love, or understanding. The world owes you nothing but indifference. The sun will rise whether you conquer or collapse. The cities will keep breathing whether you starve or feast. Men will march to war whether you drown in tears or sharpen your blade. The universe is colder than you imagine, and if you believe it has a debt to pay you, you are already defeated. This is why self-pity is so lethal. It tricks you into waiting for a savior who never comes. You sit with your suffering like a king waiting for tribute, expecting life to kneel. But life does not kneel. Life crushes, devours, erases. Only men who take what they want are remembered. Only predators who carve power into the bones of reality are respected. Look at history. The powerful were not men who expected fairness. They were men who understood the brutality of indifference and bent it to their will. The world gave them nothing, so they stole everything. Self-pity blinds you to this truth. It makes you think the scales will one day balance, that if you endure long enough, justice will descend like rain. But justice is not real. It is manufactured by the strong. Fairness is not cosmic. It is dictated by the victor. Do you want fairness? Then conquer. Do you want justice? Then impose it. Stop waiting for the world to give, because the world is deaf. It listens only to power, only to strength, only to force. And here is the cruelty. Every second you cling to self-pity, you send a signal to others that you are waiting for life to fix itself for you. Predators recognize that signal instantly. They know you will never strike first, never seize, never demand. You will wait, and waiting is death. The cold truth. You must strip yourself of entitlement. You must kill the idea that anything is owed to you. Because once you kill it, you free yourself. You stop waiting for help. You stop expecting mercy. You stop looking for cosmic fairness. And instead, you look inward, to discipline, to will, to strategy. That is where power begins. The moment you accept that the world owes you nothing, you gain control. You become dangerous because you stop asking and start taking. And nothing terrifies the weak more than a man who does not wait for permission. This is the difference between rulers and the ruled. The ruled expect fairness. The rulers impose it. The ruled wait for opportunity. The rulers create it. The ruled complain of suffering. The rulers weaponize it. And every single one of them, without exception, had to abandon pity to rise. The choice is yours. Cling to the illusion and die irrelevant. Or embrace the indifference and carve yourself into history. Comment below. I demand nothing. I take everything. Number 10. The untouchable state. There exists a state that few men ever reach. A place beyond weakness, beyond pity, beyond the fragile illusions that enslave ordinary minds. It is not comfort. It is not happiness. It is not peace in the way weak men imagine peace. It is something colder, harder, sharper. It is the untouchable state. And to enter it, you must abandon self-pity forever, because pity cannot live in the same kingdom as power. The untouchable man does not cry for fairness. He does not beg for sympathy. He does not wait for destiny. He bends destiny with his own two hands. He walks through fire and bleeds without complaint, because he understands that suffering is not a reason to stop. It is a weapon to wield. Imagine yourself stripped of pity. Imagine yourself no longer reaching for validation, no longer aching for someone to recognize your pain. Imagine yourself so coldly disciplined that every wound only hardens you, every betrayal only sharpens you, every failure only fuels you. This is the untouchable state, when no word can shame you, no loss can paralyze you, no enemy can predict you, because you do not indulge in the soft luxury of self-pity. You have forged yourself into steel, and steel does not whine. Steel cuts, steel endures, steel commands. This state is feared by manipulators because guilt no longer binds you. It terrifies rivals because envy no longer touches you. It bewilders weak men because they cannot understand how someone can be so cold, so ruthless, so focused. And yet, it is not cruelty for cruelty's sake. The untouchable state is clarity. It is control. It is the realization that all the noise of self-pity was the enemy's greatest weapon against you, and once silenced, you rise into something close to unstoppable. Machiavelli would say the prince must learn to be both beast and man, both fox and lion. To be untouchable is to become both. The fox who deceives without remorse, the lion who strikes without hesitation. But the key is this: neither animal wastes a single moment on pity. They hunt, they conquer, they survive. You must become that hybrid predator, moving with cunning, striking with force, never stopping to pity your path. And when you do, you become a man who cannot be manipulated by the world because you no longer rely on its compassion. You no longer need its validation. You no longer seek its fairness. You have made yourself sovereign, untouchable, absolute. Ask yourself this: what could anyone do to a man who feels no pity for himself? Can you humiliate him? No, because shame slides off his armor. Can you break him? No, because he takes pain as proof of progress. Can you control him with guilt? No, because guilt requires a wound, and he has cauterized them all. Can you starve him with loneliness? No, because he feeds on silence. The untouchable man is terrifying because he cannot be bribed with comfort or broken with suffering. He is a man who plays the game of power on his own terms. And men like this always rise because the world respects only force, clarity, and will. But to enter this state, you must sacrifice the sweetest drug, the illusion of pity. You must watch it die inside you and refuse to resuscitate it. You must be willing to be misunderstood, hated, envied, feared, because untouchable men are never loved by the masses. They are respected, obeyed, remembered. You must choose. Do you want to be comforted, or do you want to be immortal? Do you want fleeting sympathy or eternal dominance? The untouchable state demands everything from you, but it gives back something priceless: freedom. Freedom from the chains of weakness. Freedom from the opinions of others. Freedom from the illusions of fairness. Freedom to move through life as a sovereign being, shaping destiny, commanding respect, and walking through the world like a shadow of inevitability. This is not a path for everyone. Most will cling to their pity because it feels warm. But you are not like most. You are here because you sense the truth. You are here because something in you is already rejecting pity's poison. Feed that part. Grow it. Let it devour the softness inside you until only iron remains. And when that day comes, when you finally kill pity and ascend into the untouchable state, you will look into the mirror and realize you are no longer man alone. You are predator, ruler, sovereign. Comment below: I am untouchable. And if you are ready to walk this path, remember, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The weak will ignore it. The predators will act. Which one are you?